Hello there. This interview is a part of SASAH's Alumni Outreach Project, where we reach out to SASAH alumni and try to gain their experience on what it's like to be a SASAH student, but also how this kind of new and different learning has kind of impacted their experiences outside of the classroom. So today I'm joined with Misha Apel. Hi, Misha. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
She is from the graduating class of 2019, and she holds a double major in English language and literature, as well as a minor in transitional justice and post-conflict reconstruction. She is currently a legislative intern with the Ontario Legislature internship program at Queen's Park in Toronto, and she will be turning to Western Law in September 2020. So that sounds fun.
Yeah, hopefully it is.
Yeah. I think you really have a lot of expertise to lend to a lot of SASA students. I know for me, I find this interview very interesting because we've already spoken, but I think the minor in transitional justice and post-conflict reconstruction and kind of working in that kind of new, I want to say, program is very interesting, and it will have a lot of appeal for SASA students.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, it was a really great combination of all the things I was interested in.
Yeah, sounds great. Okay, so I guess just to start off, as I've been asking everyone pretty much, how would you describe SASA? Because it's a very new program. I'm sure when you first heard about it, you were kind of like, what is this? Do I know what this is? Like, what's really happening? So just for anyone else that's having those kind of same exact questions, what would you describe SASA?
Yeah, I found out about SASA at the Ontario University Fair.
Mm.
I was looking at programs that had to do with arts and humanities, and Lawrence Deleuze just ran up to me and my dad, and he goes, "What's your average? Do you speak any languages? Like, what are you interested in?" And it kind of hooked me from there. And then later on that year, I was able to return to Western and sit in on a class when I was in 11th grade. So I knew I wanted to do SASA right from the get-go. I applied to Western already knowing I wanted to do SASA because I had interacted already with the program and with Joel Faflek, the past director. In my experience, I would explain SASA as an interdisciplinary program that allows you to like dip your toes into various aspects of arts and humanities, and then use that to couple your information with another major, and then work through all the things that you're interested in. But you get a little bit of everything, and I think that was the best part of SASA is you go to university kind of expecting one thing, and SASA throws you in a million different directions and lets you experience so much more.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I really love how Lawrence has just become a staple in every SASA student's life. I think that's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Yeah. But kind of aside from him and him pulling you apart as he does with every student, I think what else really wanted you to pursue SASA? What else really stuck with you?
Yeah, I knew going into university kind of what I was interested in it, but as soon as I heard SASA was an interdisciplinary program, it really interested me because I think there's an importance, especially going forward, to be able to have experience in a variety of things. I didn't want to just put myself in one box. I wanted to know that I had a vast variety of experiences. And also, like, SASA's instructors are like crazy incredible, and they really allowed me to, experience a small university or like a small class program within a larger institution. So you got these one-on-one experiences with, the 25-person cohort, but you got to reap the benefits of a large institution. And whether it was extracurriculars or clubs or whatever you wanted to do, it was kind of just the perfect situation for me.
Yeah, I think that's really incredible as well. So kind of to touch on your future plans, you'll be going to Western again to pursue your law degree. I think that's absolutely incredible, and I'm very excited for that. So I was kind of wondering, how do you think specifically SASA has prepared you for that new phase in your academic journey?
Yeah, well, SASA, I think, has prepared me in like so many different ways. Just being able to interact with different professors every single course, I think allows you to adapt to different situations. Every single course you take in university, you need to adapt to what the professor wants. But also at the same time, SASA gives you that cohort that you're always in the class together, or the majority of the classes you're together, and it gives you like a solid backbone. And I think because of that, it allowed me to both work independently and within a group. And I think that whether you go back to school or whether you're in the workplace right away, those are the two things you need to know most. You need to work by yourself and you need to work with others. And I think SASAH, more than any other program, lets you do that.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. I absolutely have to agree. I think one of the absolute best parts about SASAH is developing those kind of really strong relationships with everyone in your cohort and then being able to collaborate on anything. And I think also when it comes to SASAH, I think knowing that we are all somewhat friends, most of us are friends really, and at least acquaintances at least,
Yeah.
so it really helps to facilitate that kind of discourse in the classroom. It allows people to feel comfortable to like speak out and engage in different topics. So definitely, I love that kind of, SASAH is kind of a foundation for allowing us to find voice. I think that's
and it being so small, it even functions kind of like a workplace. 20 people within a workplace is pretty standard. And then, one boss, if you want to consider that as the professor, it really functions just like a workplace. And I think is a really great stepping stone for students.
Yeah, I agree. So kind of speaking about all the benefits of SASAH and how it's like been such a crucial aspect of life in general, I was wondering, what are like some of the really important skills that you think you've learned in SASAH that have translated pretty well to what you're doing now as a legislative intern with Ontario Legislature?
Yeah, so I would say the first one is communication. I think that's the biggest thing for people to learn, especially, let's be real, we're all on our phones all the time, we're all online. And I think that the need for communication has kind of died down a little bit, but I think that it is really crucial if you want to get ahead. Also, like working with others, I think is really important. Networking, confidence, and like public speaking. We have a lot of group projects. You stand in front of people all the time, in my opinion, in SASAH. And I think that being able to sell yourself, you don't think of learning that in university. And I think that is what lets SASAH students get ahead.
Yeah, I agree, definitely. And I remember, I kind of spoke about this in another interview, but I remember when we had a Windermere project where we went to the Windermere Home for the Elderly, and that was absolutely an incredible experience because not only were we able to collaborate, as we said before, but we were able to just speak and do a whole presentation, and really, especially because we had that kind of generational gap, it really challenged our communication skills and being able to engage with the audience in a new and different way. And I feel like that's a type of learning activity that's very specific to SASAH, and I don't feel like other programs can offer that. So
yeah, the ability to have those like interdisciplinary studies mixed with like going into the community and like service learning type aspects within London is really what I think is the most important. Being able to give back to your community, whether it's, I don't know if you still do the like graveyard projects that we used to do. Those probably stopped happening. We did a few of them, but there's so many like interesting ways of getting involved in the London community that is exactly what we need with all the young leaders that I think SASAH will create.
Yeah, and I think the community engagement is one of my absolute favorite like things about SASAH. So kind of bouncing off of that, what is your favorite either aspect of SASAH or your favorite memory of SASAH as a SASAH student?
Yeah, I would say I kind of have a few. My favorite memory in general for SASAH has been just like being, I think overall memories, being able to be in class with a lot of amazing people. No matter what we were talking about, like art, history, philosophy, we always had really fascinating group conversations and discussions where people respected each other's opinions and we fed off of each other's creative minds. I think that was really great. In my first year, I was able to go to Rwanda, which was a really incredible experience. It's not necessarily a SASAH course, but it's cross-listed with SASAH. And because of that, and because of, the high caliber studies that SASAH experiences require, they accept first year students. And so that was, I could talk about just going to Rwanda for hours, but then because of that, I also was able to be the TA a few years later in my fourth year. So I felt, the SASAH community really respected interdisciplinary studies abroad, not just at Western. And then on top of that, I would say our fourth year course was really incredible, being able to have a seminar course with a distinguished artist. And for our year, it was Shelley Nero. So, we were able to learn about Indigenous issues, and she was able to bring in like other Indigenous artists to teach us their craft. I would never expected to have learned that my undergraduate degree. And like, I haven't necessarily tried like sewing a strawberry again, but like, interdisciplinary courses like really widened my worldview and, you know, allowed me to appreciate so much more that you don't just get, you know, in a regular class. Like SASAH really allows you, they take those 25 people and they, you know, put you in, you take a class that's, it might be an English class, but it's not the same English class everyone else gets.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the best part.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And you kind of brought up your Rwanda course kind of experience. You touched on that a little bit, but I'd love to hear more. Tell us more about that. Like, what was it like? What did you learn? What was it like being in Rwanda? Kind of that entire engagement process. Super interesting.
Yeah,
Tell us more.
happily. Always happy to talk about that. The Rwanda course, you know, it teaches about the history of Rwanda, about intercultural competence, about community engagement, all really important things that I think that we need in this day and age.
Yeah.
And especially it being taught by a distinguished professor like Professor Henri Boyi, who is I now consider a mentor and a really great friend, is just an incredible experience for anyone to be able to get. So, you know, you study for the semester in London, and then you travel to Rwanda for 6 weeks where you're able to work with a variety of NGOs, and they're usually youth rehabilitation centers. And so those organizations, you don't just go there and assume what they want. You go there and you work with them. You take your skills, but you take like their on the ground needs and their on the ground expertise, and you create, you know, an action plan, whether it's teaching English, whether it's, you know, I think one year they made a well. This last year we painted murals for a new girls center to, like, you know, brighten up the place. I liked being there to play with children because I like kids. You know, people come from health backgrounds, from language backgrounds, from any background, and we all like collaborate with a small group, and you go there and you think that you're doing life-changing work, but really like they're giving you life-changing work.
Yeah.
I think the best part, and I think that's a common aspect of community engaged learning is, yeah, you're helping the community, but you're ultimately you're helping yourself. And, you know, intercultural competence is something that takes your whole life that you'll never ever fully get. And it's important to immerse ourselves in various cultures and learning of other people.
Yeah.
So I think that was the best part of Rwanda, and I hope to go back again soon.
Yeah, I think it's really cool that you went, because everyone who I've heard speak about the Rwanda trip has said that when they come back, they always feel like it's changed them just as a person.
Yeah.
So I think that's
yeah, absolutely. It's quite incredible. And, you know, just Ubuntu in general is a Bantu philosophy that we really talk about in the course. So anyone watching should go and Google that. It's a good way to live your life.
Okay, awesome. And kind of, I guess, just to end off and kind of close, I guess, I'd love to hear if you had any advice for any future current SASAH students that might be watching this and might be kind of on the fence, or they have certain concerns, like anything that you might have to share.
Yeah, I would say, you know, the best part about SASAH is you get to do a little bit of everything. So, you know, it teaches you to be adaptable, to understand others, to truly experience things that you never thought you would. So, you know, now having the time to reflect, my advice for future and current students would be, you know, to live in the moment. I've always been a high achiever and, you know, someone that's organized and wanting deadlines, but SASAH really taught me to get out of my comfort zone and, you know, trust the process. And I think that's really important. Like, as a cohort, we were able to support each other, mold our projects, really like dive into what interests us most. So, you know, don't be worried about your grades. Enjoy the experiences you're having. And the projects are really quite incredible, and you'll think about them years later. You know, everyone in SASAH is a high achiever. You're all there for a reason. You're smart, you're capable, and you're special. And allow SASAH to be the course that you enjoy and that you learn most from. And don't let it stress you out too much. I really wish someone had told me to take a breather.
Okay, well, awesome advice. I think on that note, we could end here. I want to thank you so much for just joining me today and kind of sharing your experiences. I loved hearing about Rwanda, and I loved hearing about everything that you had to say. So, I mean, thank you again for kind of taking the time to just engage with me.
Yeah, and thanks for having me. It was really great.
So if any SASAH student might want to reach out, they might find your story really inspiring. If they want to do that, how can they get in contact with you?
Yeah, you can, my Western email is mapel@uwo.ca, or my first name, last name @gmail.com. Or you can also find me on LinkedIn if you want to be super professional. I have a pretty unique name, so it's pretty easy to find me.
I love that everyone's saying LinkedIn. LinkedIn is great. But anyway, this is not a LinkedIn sponsored video, so thank you again. And yeah, it was great speaking with you.
Thank you so much.